Open Pool Championship. The world champion Shane Van Boening up against the two-time Mosconi Cup MVP Skyler Woodward. Up in commentary for this one's Jeremy Jones and Jason Shaw, Michael McMullen.
Thanks very much, Hannah. Very much the stars and stripes on show in this quarter-final in every sense. No bigger star in the game right now than Shane Van Boening following his World Championship triumph last month, while Skyler Woodward certainly earned his stripes earlier today with that run of 10 racks in a row to turn it around against Oliver Szolnocki. They're the only two Americans, the only two non-Europeans left in this UK Open. One of them will be left to battle on alone in tomorrow's semi-finals. And Jason, so much talk about Skyler Woodward at the moment as to whether or not he's got what it takes to win an event of this quality and this stature. If he can come through this challenge, then the answer is, of course.
Yeah, you know, it's not like he's not won any big tournaments. He's won big events in America, Derby City. You know, he's won many tournaments in the States too. This is a Matchroom event. It's a little bit different, but you know, all the players are in those events he's won in America, so I think it's all about just getting his chance and taking it, and if he can come through this match, then who knows, it might be his time.
Jeremy, we were commentating on Shane Van Boening's match earlier against Mark Bijsterbosch. That's as well as anyone has played all week.
Yeah, and Shane's played awfully well the entire event. I'm interested in this shot right here, but yeah, I look for a high-quality match. Kind of said it in the interview. I think that's what both players are looking for when you're playing such a you know, good friend, I guess you could say. You know, it can be a little difficult. You just try to do your thing, and if any sign for Shane, he kind of ran down those steps. And Jason, I consider you one of those elite guys that when you're on, it's almost you really don't fear anything going into the match. You can't wait to play because you just don't feel a mistake coming.
Yeah, he's looked very, very solid all week. It looks like he's not made many mistakes in his matches, broken run a lot of games. And like you said, he came down those stairs with authority. Like, let me get in there and get this going.
In the match against Bijsterbosch earlier, even the one rack that he did lose, he was a bit unfortunate with the scratch. He actually played the shot perfectly. But he's played 67 racks so far in this championship and only lost 11.
Yeah, funny shot there. Couldn't really fire it. And, you know, the guys like to put a little more speed on that type of bank when the ball's a little high. You know, when it's a little lower, a little more shallow, the cross corner, they'll hit it with the easy speed. But he didn't look unhappy, though, when he kind of released the cue, right? So,
Actually was a good speed he played it at.
We got a fortunate clip. I think that ball would have came out, but he's not going to like this outcome.
I think I might have tried to nick that in the corner there.
Yeah, or maybe even shave it and go upstairs, right, with the cue ball, because there is some big blockers and a problem with the 5-7-9.
Yeah, but I thought he could maybe cut it in and run into the 5 and the 7 with a little bit of spin.
Yeah, and maybe the safest shot was shooting at it. You know, I mean, you almost have to kick long rail instead of underneath. You got a better chance of really not, you know, unhinging that problem of the 5-7-9. Light speed here.
Oh, very nice shot there.
And some would say that Skyler needs to do a few of those things here early, right?
I think he played it the right way, like you said. Coming underneath is no good. Going from there, you can maybe hang it up, but he's not going to open the 7 and the 5.
And now we'll see what kind of decision he makes. He's really got to be very confident to go into these balls. It's not the best of angles, and certainly a lot can go wrong.
Yeah, I don't see him running into these, Jeremy. I think maybe come down and play a little tactical shot. Maybe try and get above the ball and flick off it and come down behind the 9 and the 7.
Yeah, it depends on how confident he is. You know, you'd like to come one rail at it, right? Just kind of mildly that way. Like Jason said, you can nick one side of the purple and get up behind the 7 and 9. it's better than coming 2 rails out towards the spot. I think that could give you a touchy safety that will leave an easy kick shot.
I think anywhere close to the side pocket.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He might be having a go at this.
Well, he's feeling pretty good, I'll tell you, and he's gotten himself in a real touchy spot here. I mean, where do you go?
Yeah, this
Would you kick behind this?
Not sure. It's in one of those positions where it's like there's not much on.
Yeah, would you just try to get the 5 to the end rail, kicking behind it? If you come across the top, you're really surrendering a lot.
Yeah, you can sell out the 9 combo. You could hit it real bad and bump it all the way out. I think your shot, just bring it out to the middle of the table.
Yeah, that was going to be tough. Maybe he left it a little awkward.
Might see Shane go rail first.
Yeah, a little ticky shot. What Jason's saying is go to the rail, catch the 5, a decent thickness on the 5, go back to the rail and chop the 9 in the corner. A little harder to judge on the slick table, but doable.
You don't have to hit it as hard, Jeremy, on the newer table. You know what I mean? Just let the cue ball do the work.
And that's what he's doing. He's going to try and play the 5 to the side rail as well. Oh, no, he's not. Look at there.
What a shot.
Well, he was finding all sorts of ways to win the racks earlier against Mark Bijsterbosch. And a bit of invention shown there, straight off the bat for Shane Van Boening. He leads Skyler Woodward 1-0.
And you get all kinds of faces from Shane. And the one that I like to see, of course, on his side is this match is a little 50-50 for me for sure, but is those crazy eyes he gets. You know, I know you've seen him before.
Yeah, he looks like he's in that that zone that he tries to get into. That shot there, I would never have played it at that speed.
Yeah.
You know, because they were trying to be sending the 5 up to the side rail where the 8 was.
Right.
But he's feeling confident, and he's played it in a really attacking way, and what a shot to start the match.
It's been serene progress for him so far. Started with a 9-0 win over James Channon. Also very comfortable then against another British player, Matthew Wrigley. Only lost 2 racks there. And only lost 3 in each of his next 2 matches against Juan Carlos Exposito and the vastly experienced Ralph Souquet. Daniel Maciel gave him his closest challenge. It was 4-all in that one. But Van Boening saw him off comfortably in the end, winning the next 5 for the match. And then, as we've been discussing, 11-1 against the Dutch World Cup player Mark Bijsterbosch just a couple of hours ago. He's also taken the opening rack here, and so he breaks in the second.
Definitely a different sound than the template, but a rock solid hit on the 1 there from SVB. And I think what you said it best in one word right there when you talked about all his matches is comfortable. And not just here this week. I think he's been comfortable for some time, that being Shane.
Yeah, I think in the last maybe 4 or 5 months, he's really started to, you know, find his game again, and maybe a little bit more hungry than he was before. I think he kind of not fell out with the game, but kind of like it wasn't 100%. You know, it was like I'd rather go fishing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's about himself, which is the best way to be. I mean, I tell players that all the time. You have to really concern yourself with yourself. But he's also a guy that likes to see pool go in a great direction. And I think he's been motivated with what Matchroom's doing here. And, you know, I saw where he could win the U.S. Open last year. It took an incredible match from Aloysius Yap, I believe it was. Ran some 8 racks or something to knock him out of that event.
Yeah, he was the only American in the last 16 stage, but Yap saw him off 11-5. He'd actually beaten Alban Ocean 11-2 on the loser's side, having been beaten by Francisco Sanchez Ruiz and sent over to that one-loss part of the draw. Still chasing that tie-breaking 6th US Open title, sharing the record with Earl Strickland.
Yeah, he might not get a rail here if he hits the 4 on the wrong side. Oh, he hit it with plenty of speed. Okay. Bit of a roll there.
He hit it full. You know, that's what he was looking for. He was looking for a solid hit on it, and sometimes good hit. He was unlucky not to make it in the side, actually.
Right. Well, Shane, where's he go here? 3 rails behind it? That's kind of like your best way to get safe. That being the left side rail, the top rail, then back to the right side rail coming behind the pink 4. Kicking across offers a lot of a scratch in the side, maybe.
Extension call.
I think your shot, Jeremy, 3 rails in behind it. That way, if he hits it full, he might get stuck over behind the 9 and the 6. I don't like this.
Tough to judge. Well, speaking of behind the 6-9, we'll see. It's going to open up, and Skyler Woodward's going to get his first real opportunity.
Skyler Woodward from Kentucky, recently turned 29 years of age. The only American to be MVP at the Mosconi Cup in consecutive years. A couple of Europeans have done it. One of them nodding appreciatively as he sits beside me.
Yeah, he had to ease the 4. He's got to ease the 5 as well.
Pretty straightforward from here for Skyler. Be nice to get the first rack on the board and settle himself down a little bit more.
Yeah, he did have to go over to the loser's side, but just one match there, and he won it comfortably against Robbie Capito. Looked like the story was going to go no further. And he trailed Oliver Shalnocki 5-1 and wasn't getting a look in at all. And then won 10 racks in a row for the match. With that, Skyler Woodward ties it up early on at 1-all.
One rack up.
Yeah, I was interested to see, because I know Skyler likes the left side rail overall, but I don't think he can afford to do that on this table.
I was speaking to him before, about 10 minutes before he went out to play, and I told him, I says, I've been watching this match over here before, and it's breaking better from that side. So I told him.
Yeah, I was a little shocked that Dennis's, he did switch, but he went with the lighter break again from that rail, and I think, you know, one of the things that may have cost him that match, he had to see Ruiz really unloading from that right side rail.
Yeah, the wing ball's definitely been going in a lot more on that side, and Imran caught it a bit too late too in his match. He stayed there for about 4 or 5 breaks, and then finally figured out Filler had moved his ball 2 cue balls, and the wing ball was flying in, and he started doing the same thing.
Yeah, and you saw Filler in the opening rounds kind of a mild cut on the one.
Yep.
With the template, but went away from that quickly as well. It's really a head-on break.
What do you do here, Jeremy? You try and come out and bump the 4?
I don't think so. I mean, the 4 does go, and you really got to get command, because the combination needs cut on the 3-5. So you need to really get shape on the 3 properly, and I would worry more about that than than the 4 and the 9
I might
myself.
draw into the 9 here.
That's not terrible. That's got to go,
I think he tried to nip that there, you know that?
Yeah, he's made a big mistake here with the ball. Only ball in the middle of the table.
I think he tried to flick that 9 ball there.
Maybe.
I really do.
Maybe.
I think drawing in between the 6 and the 9 and just hitting the top side of it is still going to leave yourself a shot.
Yeah, the top side of it I like. Now, not coming from underneath like he did, but there was room to draw off the top of the 9, like Jason said, and you would certainly never get snookered.
Well, you're going to have limited chances against Shane Van Boening when he's in this sort of form. So when they do come along, Woodward earned this one for himself by winning the previous rack and getting the break. Got to make the most of them. Looks like he may have passed this one up unless he can pull something out here.
Well, no matter where the 3 ends up, he's going to love that he's made that combination.
I think he might be perfect here, Jeremy, to roll straight through. It looks like it from here.
Yeah, it's close, that's for sure. It doesn't take much to be off on this shot. I think you're right. I think it's, if it does have an angle, it's so slight. As long as the stroke's good, he can push through and get on the pink 4. Usually his bread and butter. Maybe missing the 3 in the pocket cost him a little line on the cue ball there. Now, is this ball grab enough to get the 4 by the 6-9 and bring the cue ball back over? Yeah, he overcut it.
Yeah. If we would have hit it more clean, I think he might have hit the 6 on the other side and got to the 4. Nice.
Yeah.
Not the toughest of jumps. He only has to jump over the edge of both balls.
And the good thing is, as long as he gets to the right side of the table, he doesn't have to get close to bury a kiss shot on the 9.
We saw Joshua Filler warming up there over on table 2. And they're just doing the lag ahead of that quarter-final against Alexa Pichelj. Looks like the young man from Serbia has won the lag there.
It's funny. You know, you would label definitely 10 or so better jumpers, but in the moment, SVB seems to take it down.
He's going to get away with this one.
Yeah, I think he may be able to cut this in. It's close. I'll tell you, if he can't cut it in, he's so close to the pink 4. Maybe a little bit of an awkward shot trying to get a snooker.
Might go for this, Jeremy, and go straight into the 9 and the 6. Now he's just going to bank it down the table.
Well, I think he recognized he could play the kiss shot on the 9 from way down table, so
Yeah.
percentage a favorite to make the bank, and he's going to leave him tough.
And leave the 6 ball back up on the top rail on the other side. Very nice shot there.
An awkward stretch coming with the bridge even. Oh, he's confident.
Yeah. Usually he'll take a little bit more time over those shots. He actually shot that pretty quickly.
And the speed's going to be ideal for a pretty much straight in 8 ball, it looks like.
Early stages, but this could prove to be significant. As I said, Skyler Woodward might not get that many chances. He had every opportunity to win this rack, take the lead, instead of which it's Shane Van Boening, who goes a rack in front for the second time. Long way to go though, it's a race to 11 in this quarter-final. Van Boening 2, Woodward 1.
want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone. If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
Saturday night in the Copper Box, it's the quarter-finals of the UK Open, part of a wonderful weekend of sport, the PGA Championship coming to its climax and the final day of the Premier League season tomorrow, but lots of great entertainment available across Sky's channels as well, and you can check in for the highly anticipated Season 2 of The Flight Attendant, all episodes Thursday on Sky Max. And it's still very much up in the air as to who will be the lone American in the semi-finals tomorrow. Shane Van Boening leading 2-1 against Skyler Woodward. And over on table 2, Joshua Filler has won the opener against Alexa Pechelj of Serbia. Back to the main table.
Well, it seems like all day that Shane's been at the table, the 9 ball's in his sights.
Yep.
One way or another. Watching it go in, a combination. All kinds of scenarios.
I think he has a shot on the one here.
I do believe so. He's on the rail with the cue ball, though.
I think the way he's playing them, I don't think he's too worried about that. Just jack it up, smash it in, and go 2 rails and come out behind the 4. He really is cueing well.
Yeah, he is. The slick table, now he's leveled out a little more, so he's going to power through the 8, it looks like. And both ways have a worry, because on the slick table, if you elevate, it's going to hop a little bit, and he has a chance of still catching it. I like this better, leveling out and powering through a little bit more. If you hit it well, you won't scratch. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, very nice shot.
Or at least this scratch I didn't expect. And that's confidence right there. I mean,
he struck that ball really well there. Me, personally, I would have probably played the other way.
a little more elevation,
yeah,
right?
Trying to miss the 8, but that way.
But if you catch the 8, you could scratch.
Yeah, you're probably going to scratch.
Yeah.
4 balls down off the break, so not a huge amount left to do to win this rack. And we saw this so often against Mark Bijsterbosch earlier. He was doing that repeatedly. He had a couple of golden breaks, a couple of other combinations. So he actually didn't play that many shots on the way to winning that match.
You might see Shane run into this 8 and 9 here.
It looked like it was close enough to the pocket you could throw it in,
I
but
think
maybe not.
high on the ball. Yeah.
Wow. Did he get kissed free? Man, that's pretty cold there.
That was a cold roll. He got kissed twice. I think he might have been on it the first time if the... Yeah.
It stuck pretty quick, yeah. You'll watch it. It kind of hits it just right to just land fully behind the 8. It's just going to stay there, it looks like. It may have come out.
It may have creeped out off
yeah.
the 8 on the left.
Oh, same exact. He overcut it. And what
He'll
happens
be
with...
happy with this, though.
Yeah. What happens with the jump shot, you don't realize you have to aim a little more full because the ball's in the air. So it cuts the ball on top instead of on the base of the ball, right? So easy to overcut him. But also, I mean, he's got to love this, but so does Sky, right? I mean, he's got an opportunity here to, you know, it's not great, but he's at the table.
You're going to see it. Oh, wow.
Skyler Woodward wins the rack.
And just like that, the 9 goes in the sides. To the great appreciation of the Copper Box faithful, Skyler Woodward, for the second time, draws level with Shane Van Boening. It's 2 apiece.
That's incredible how it's gone in from that angle. And the 6 nearly went in too.
Yeah, and normally from that angle, we're complaining about how our cue ball scratches from that angle on the side, but here, the 9 ball down, so we haven't seen it all, but we've seen a lot here early.
He hit it good though. He hit it pure. Got the cue ball to stay where he wanted to stay.
I think he thought he had action on the 6 cross side myself. The 9 ball, maybe not. But the 6 certainly looked like it had a path towards that side off the 9.
Shane Van Boening has shown quite a bit of invention across his last couple of matches, finding ways to win racks. Skyler Woodward certainly stepping up in that regard there. Let's see what's going on now over on table 2. Joshua Filler won the opener against Alexa Pechelch. Well, that hasn't gone entirely to plan, so a little bit of work to do here with the 8 as he pursues a 2-0 lead against the 22-year-old.
Skyler Woodward to break. He scores a tie. 2 racks all.
We'll let you know how that goes as we return
2 seconds, please.
to the main table.
Yeah, well, that kiss shot to open the match, right, from Shane.
Skyler Woodward to break.
Bigger shot, and then the kick kiss shot here, or combination on the 9. So I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be more fireworks in this set. He just wants to... Is he changed sides?
No, he's on the
No,
same.
he's on the same side.
Yeah, I don't think he was very unhappy with the first break off at all.
He wants that 1 ball to stay up.
Yeah, and he's going to get elevated over the 5 as well. So tough shot coming on the 2, but he will fire. And is the cue ball going towards the 9?
Yeah, I think we're just playing it high ball. It's going to run straight into the 9 ball.
Yeah, I think he's got a chance at both balls here. And he could play a safety here. I mean, he could bank the 2 up and draw behind the 3-9. That's a doable shot and understandable when you're cueing so awkwardly.
But knowing Skyler, he's going to shoot at this. This is his chance to get rolling, you know. See the 9 ball go close to the hole.
Kind of stunned it a little bit, huh?
I'd like to see the replay there, to be honest.
Oh,
Oh, you
yeah.
see the cue ball?
Yeah,
Cue ball was already hopping twice before it even got to the 2.
yeah, hitting downward on it. Now Shane may come short side on this 3 ball. He doesn't have to, but I think he might pull inside the 5 a couple rails here. This is a little awkward.
I think your shot, Jeremy,
Extension
just
call.
try and come up above the 5 ball. Just take a longer shot.
Yeah, but can he beat the 6? That's what I would worry about. That's why I said it really is. Can he go with a high ball and not hit the 6? That's why I was saying maybe he has to come 2 rails out. Lays natural for it. Yeah, with the 5 near the pocket, you don't mind a little distance if you get on the rail here, right? So
I wasn't sure if he could miss the 6 like you said, or maybe clip the edge of the 5 too, and probably stay up this side of the table. It was a good shot.
He likes shooting balls like that with a little more authority, you know, if he has the choice. So, I mean, most of us do, really.
It's been more like this week the Shane Van Boening that we saw winning the World Championship last month. In between, he had a surprisingly early exit at the World Masters, going there as the new world champ. He was beaten in his first match by Low Ho Sum, who went on that wonderful run to the final. But he's put it all behind him very quickly. He's closing in on leading this match for the 3rd time.
Yeah, and Low Ho Sum, he surprised many in the last few months. So,
Yeah, good talent, very nice guy, and very good player as well. Got a lot of potential to become a top player. He's only young, what, 23 years old?
yeah, very eager too. You can see it on his face.
So the trading of racks 1 for 1 continues. It was 1-0, it was 2-1. And now it's 3-2 to Shane Van Boening.
Shane Van Boening wins the rack.
Mentioned the World Masters there and the World Championship. All part of a rapidly expanding calendar. Joshua Filler, the winner of the World Masters, closing in there in a 3-0 lead over Alexa Pichelch.
Do believe that Joshua is on a 2-pack right now.
And there is that calendar we were talking about. World Cup of Pool, the next big attraction in a few weeks' time in Brentwood. You'll be there, Jason, playing for Great Britain A along with Elliot Sanderson. Then the US Open, an event you've won in the past, coming up in October. The Mosconi Cup, well, you two guys know all about that, don't you? That's in Las Vegas, starting on the very last day of November. And you see there at the bottom, the European Open. Like this, that's a new big field open event. We don't have a date yet for it or a venue, but I think announcements on both of those fronts are imminent. Has now gone 3-0 to Joshua Filler on the other table. The winner of that will play the winner of David Arcady against Mario He. Whoever comes through this All-American clash will face either Daniel Maciol,
number 6.
who of course has played Van Boening
Shane
already
Van
in this
Boening.
tournament, or
Winning 3
Francisco
racks to 2.
Sanchez Ruiz. He's been battling away since losing his opening match. Came all the way through the loser side and still here.
9-ball on the side.
Yeah, wow.
Well, you called it, Jason. He had a couple of golden breaks earlier today.
You can do what you want, yeah, crack on.
If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
Shane Van Boening has hit the break shot 14 times across his 2 matches today, and 3 of them have been golden. 2 of them earlier on in his 11-1 demolition of Mark Bijsterbosch, and now one here to go 2 clear for the first time against Skyler Woodward in the quarter-final of the UK Open at 4-2.
Rack 7. Shane Van Boening to break, leading 4 racks to 2.
Wow, look at this break. Unbelievable. Incredible break again. Straight in on the 4.
Well, he's making more and more of a habit of this in recent months, isn't he? Just pounding in multiple balls off the break and not leaving himself much work to do at all after that.
Well, that's exactly what he and I talked about earlier in the week about the break, and I told him I like the head-on break. I know it can get you to where you don't get shots, but with his, he seems to make two plus on average, 3 balls, and it's just, like you said, a lot less work, a lot less stress.
Yeah, with so few balls left on the table, the chance of any of them blocking each other is obviously diminished. So that's got to help as well.
Yeah, he more often than not gets a shot on every ball on the table.
Yeah, sometimes what happens if you usually make too many balls, you usually don't get a shot, you know, but seems to be that he breaks so well, he makes so many balls, there's not many balls left on the table, so it's hard not to get a shot, like you said, Michael.
Yeah, and it's going to take a player that doesn't allow him back after a mistake or an opening, because if he does lose a game having to roll out or whatnot, when he does get back up, he's going to put a package together usually.
Wasn't that long ago we were talking about a tight match. A 2-2. Shane Van Boening has since won 3 in a row very, very quickly. And now he leads by 5 racks to 2. Joshua Filler on the other table, continuing to make a great start. 4-0 now. He leads against Alexa Pechelj.
I think Filler's run the last 3 racks. He's on a little package. He'd be happy to finish the match with a 9-pack, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and he's done that before, and if he gets to where he can break them the way he wants to break them, watch out. I mean, you're not going to get his opponent to the table very much, and I firmly believe that's what kind of got him a little out of sorts in the middle of that match against Imran. The break, you know, wasn't like the first 4 days.
Yes. Yeah, there was actually a few players like that. This kid that just won over here against Niels.
Daniel Maciel.
Yes.
Yeah, Maciel.
He was breaking in the tournament with a magic rack. Soft, nice cut. He had the one over the corner most breaks.
Yeah.
then now you see them, they have to change it a little bit, start hitting them with a little bit more authority.
That's right. Now, the one good thing for Sky Woodward, he's seen this before from Shane. I mean, this is nothing
Shane Van
new.
Boening to break, leading 5 racks to 2.
Shane Van Boening has played 7 shots in the last 2 racks, and he's won them both.
Oh, he's got a bad kick there. It's going to scratch.
That one's gone.
The spins actually took that into the hole. That's probably missing the pocket by about a full ball.
Right, right. And Jason's talking about the line of the cue ball.
You can see here when it gets kicked.
Yeah. If it's a natural rolling ball, that ball will bleed a little bit towards the top rail and probably not scratch. Kind of like a 2-rail bank does when the spin comes off, kind of goes long. Now, a little funny coming out off the 3 a little bit. There's traffic both ways. So he's trying to decide, do I want to be on the bottom rail or the side rail shooting the 3?
I might, if the 1 can go onto the 3 now, I might play that. You know?
That's not terrible.
Try and make both of them.
You got to be confident doing so. A draw stroke's required, and if he cuts the 3 at all.
Or try and follow forward a little bit and make sure he's on it.
Yeah, because the 3's pretty deep, I guess.
We've talked about the importance of Skyler Woodward making the most of his opportunities, because he would expect them to be limited against this opponent. He wasn't able to do it in rack 3 when he had the chance to lead 2-1. If he doesn't take advantage of this, then this quarter-final could start to slip away from him very quickly.
He should be okay here, just getting above the 8 and taking a little cut shot on the 4. That brings you across for a pretty easy 5-ball. If you can work the cue ball back for the 7. So I wouldn't come between the 4, 5, 8. I would come above the 8 myself.
Yeah, just let it come out naturally.
So got to put a little more into this now.
I think he's okay here. Just pot this ball, leave yourself in the middle of the table, make sure he's got plenty of angle.
Sometimes players need to be reminded, you know, like that was Skyler's strength for a long time. You know, I mean, he had a great cue ball, don't get me wrong, and his instincts are incredible. Playing all that. Oh, easy miss there. And but really knocking the balls in from all kinds of places really was a big strength of his.
Thought he was going to play that ball and stun 2 rails with instead of hitting it with high.
Yeah.
Sending out all the wrong messages and signals to his opponent there. First of all, with the miss itself, not taking advantage of the opportunity that had been handed to him by the scratch. Then with the body language showing his frustration. Shane Van Boening, being the competitive animal he is, will love to feed off that, and he looks as though he's about to go 4 clear.
That shot there, Jeremy, I don't think he'd have been playing that in the first day or 2. Definitely not.
Yeah, I try to stay away from top inside on the slick table myself. Ooh, 7 almost jumped out of the pocket right there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we
It went all the way up, about 4 foot in the air, and jumped straight back down. Whoop.
Wow.
It's like a magic act.
We actually seen that happen to Eklund Kachi
This week?
at the Moscone Cup.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah.
The Moscone Cup, he played the 5-ball in the corner and it jumped straight back out.
Yeah. Well, certain tables you do know it's a possibility, but on a diamond, I don't recall it myself.
Well, this could prove to have been the most significant rack so far. Skyler Woodward had his opportunity to get back to 2 behind, instead of which Van Boening stretches his winning streak to 4 on the bounce, and he's now more than halfway to victory. He leads 6-2. Now, there's been a lot of talk about these new 9-ball rankings. The players are accumulating points throughout the year. And once we get to the end of 2022, we'll have a points-based list for the first time. Now, this is the list that's in operation at the moment. It's effectively been decided by committee. Shane Van Boening, #1 on that. Albin Ocean, the man he beat in the World Final, is at #2. Then David O'Cady. Carlo Biado, the US Open champion, in 4th place. And you can see all the names going down. Joshua Filler there at #9. That's going to improve very quickly, you would have to think. And the one thing that jumps out there is how international it is. And that's without any of the Chinese players who've been off the scene in recent times. Well, Lu Haichao is there. But you'll see them making their presence felt much more and more over the coming months. So much depends on this new ranking system, what tournaments you get into, where you're seeded once you have got in, and of course, so much of the Mosconi Cup selection will come down to those ranking points. It's a developing narrative, lots of points on offer here.
Rank 9.
Shane Van Boening wants
Shane
to
Van Boening
claim
break.
his share of them.
Leading 6 racks.
He's
6-2.
leading 6-2.
And I wonder about that. I never asked Shane, but if you watch him before he breaks, he always peeks to the right a little bit, his right with the eyes. He always does it, and I don't know if he knows what he's doing there. Some people never really know those little antics, but he's done it for a long time.
Yeah, he seems to be looking right at the I've noticed that too. He looks down at the table and then he glances to the right.
Yeah,
with
just his
eye.
eyes move. That's it,
Yeah.
just the eyes. It's kind of crazy.
Viewers in the UK will be aware, if they've followed the snooker over the years, of Stephen Hendry's unusual sighting technique of looking at the object ball, then looking at the pocket, and then looking back at the object ball before he strikes the cue ball. Very unorthodox, and similar to the point you're making there.
We'll see Shane try and just chip the 2 ball here back to the side rail and get the cue ball over behind the 3.
Put a lot of speed into it.
He's overhit that. I don't think he's going to like that, Jeremy.
No, and a guy that may not have a straight in the side can certainly get going with a bank shot.
Yeah, we know he's half decent at banking a ball.
Well, I'm pretty serious when I say get himself going. I mean, I've seen it before. Maybe straight in, I'll tell you.
I'm going to try and miss the 4 ball here going down 2 rails. Oh, what a shot. He needs a little roll.
Oh my, this is going to be terrible.
And isn't it always the case when you need those little rolls the most, they never fall for you. But at least he's smiling about it.
Well, you know, mistake in the last rack, a big one, right? He's going to have to kind of earn his way back into getting some games on his side. He made a great shot there. A favorite to make the jump. Can he draw any position on a 4 that's near the pocket?
You might end up leaving yourself with another bank on the 4, a long bank.
Or a jump even.
Yep.
Good call, Jason, and I don't think you're going to see a safety here. You're going to see another bank.
It's hard to get out of that one. You have to be hitting down on it and create an angle from there. You're just looking to make the ball and stay at the table.
Yeah, last name Gorse might not hurt, right? Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's pretty sick with the jump cue.
Now this bank here, very hard not to overcut it. He almost has to hit downward and really try to hold the ball up. Yeah, it's just hard not to overcut it, and he hit it great with a high ball. I thought he had hit downward to try and get some movement on the cue ball, though, Jason. You know what I mean? It not only helped the bank, but you got to know with a high ball, the cue ball's staying down here on this end of the table.
Yeah, they're trying to draw it out of there a little bit more.
Like stun, yeah. Got a little roll, though.
I think if he made it, he would have had a shot on the 5-0, just barely, but he'll be disappointed not to make the bank, but he'll be happy with the outcome.
Yeah, I think Shane, instead of trying to make this, I would probably kick and try and bring it up the side rail and bring the cue ball over on the right behind the 5 and 7. Pretty easy to do.
I think I would try and play both ways.
Both?
Try and make it, but if I hit it...
No, you're right, because it's hard to hang it, right?
Don't overcut it. That's the only thing, you know?
Right.
If you're going to miss it, make sure you miss it on the fat side. There you go.
Now he hit it sweet. And again, I always comment about you as well that I don't think Shane gets enough credit outside the break shot.
Yeah, it's because you always see a lot of runouts. You're very, you know, it's not like he doesn't have that side to the game. It very rarely comes up nowadays, you know. There's so many breaking runs, and it's just tough to see a lot of safety play in the game.
Yeah.
We can see him willing that forward in with a bit of body swerve, and it looks like another big moment and another chance that Skyler Woodward is going to pass up. Wouldn't have taken much to go differently for him to still be pretty close to his opponent. Instead of which, Shane Van Boening is streaking away. The man from Rapid City is making rapid progress towards a place in tomorrow's semi-finals. 5 on the bounce now. He leads by 7 racks to 2.
If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone. If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
The Spanish are out in force here at the UK Open with Francisco Sanchez Ruiz and David Alcaide. League and the UK Open, and of course that Spanish Grand Prix. Shane Van Boening starting to see the checkered flag come into view here. 7-2 he leads.
Probably his worst one I've seen him hit all week.
Yeah,
kind of let it get away from him.
Yeah, he knew it right away as well. Little disgusting look, and now has to, I think, play some type of safety. I don't think he can cut the one in the side. I think he's a little cut off there. Does have a portion of the one.
Alexa Pechelch over on table 2 has finally got off the mark. He's 5-1 down, though, against Joshua Filler. He's at the table, though, with a chance to pull another one back.
And he hadn't had much opportunity. He made a great shot on the one here in this rack. So
Just roll this to the top rail and stick him behind the 8.
I guess, yeah, you got 3 balls, right? I mean, really got to blunder the speed not to get the snooker there. But a kick and stick with 3 balls there for.
I think he was hoping for the 1 to come a little bit
yeah.
closer to the 3 to not leave that shot, but this is still not easy. He can hit this on the wrong side and split the balls and sell out pretty easy. He's got to hit this really full.
Yeah, if he feels good about 2 rails with a little high ball, maybe a hair of check, that's another route. I get a good feeling for this side rail kick and stick myself, though. He's looking the other way. This is interesting. He's got to go to the right side, whether it's 1 rail or 2. Now, if he goes 2 rails, he's got to give it time to check a little bit, and there's a chance of not getting a cushion if the 1 comes into another ball. He cut it. He's going to have to
He's going to make this in the corner.
Has it got the legs? It just has. Died of exhaustion right at the end. And another chance for Woodward. He can't keep passing these up if he's to have any chance of pulling off an upset here.
This is what I was talking about, Jeremy. So easy to hit that ball like that and sell up, but he's been fortunate, and like Michael said, he's got to try and take advantage of this and not give Shane any more easy games.
He got a little tricky shot here, I think. A little traffic.
Oh, he cued that well.
Yeah, best shot of the match for him so far, I think.
It's easy to get into that one too much or pull out of it real quick.
Worth another look.
See him arc the cue ball there. Is he going to get there?
He wants it to hold.
Yeah, this may have gotten a little awkward.
You might have to see him come across the other side of the 8 here, maybe shoot the 6 ball on the top left.
Yeah, but he doesn't have much angle to get over there. I think he draws towards him, to be honest with you.
He's going to try and hold this ball, Jeremy. I don't like this shot.
Yeah. Well, the thing about really holding it is you're not going to blast it, but you really don't want to let up.
He's only got 5 seconds too.
That's the shot I would have had to do right there. It may not work out, but
He'll be happy with that outcome.
Yeah, he was under a bit of pressure there. He'd already used his extension. Kept his cool nicely.
That ball didn't skid. It didn't sound the best of contact though. Made a little bit fat.
yeah. Well, what happens sometimes when you have a little bit quicker tempo, which we know Skyler plays with a hair quicker tempo than some, you create a hair of that kick sometimes, and that'll make a ball stand a lot more often than you would think, even on the slick table.
Even though he hit it bad, it shouldn't have gone in from where it hit, you know.
No, I agree. I think
extension
Skyler will
call.
tell you the same.
Yeah, and that tells us quite a story. 5 missed pots now from Skyler Woodward. That's not a number you can afford in 9.5 racks against an opponent who's playing as well as Shane Van Boening is. And I think we've seen this movie before, haven't we? Woodward has the chance, passes it up. Van Boening clinical in his response.
Yeah.
See Skyler then, disgusted with what he's...
Yeah, he could fry an egg on his forehead right now, I'll tell you that. Shane's not going to let up. Friends, countrymen, teammates, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I think Skyler's had his chances in this match. I can't see Shane letting up from here. I really can't.
Don't turn the channel, obviously. Shane can get going. I mean, Sky can get going. But
Yeah, of course. But just the way Shane's playing, it looks like he's not going to let him, you know. He's gave him a couple and he's let him back.
Shane Van Boening wins the rack.
So Skyler Woodward hit for 6. Half a dozen racks in a row for Shane Van Boening. He now leads 8-2.
And Purcell has buried another great shot on the 2-ball across the arena, and now a 3-9 to cut the lead. Doing what it takes.
And that picture tells a story, doesn't it? Losing to Shane Van Boening, yep, you can take that any day of the week. But making the mistakes and passing up the chances that Skyler Woodward has, that's what's going to send him away from this UK Open with so many regrets. As we look back on what happened in that last rack, unless, of course, Woodward can turn it round, but so often when someone's lost many racks in a row, we say, well, he just has to get the chance to get back to the table. But he's had them and has passed them up time and time again.
Yeah, Skyler, I think he'd tell you the same. He had some struggles early in some matches. Fought through them, played some real quality matches as well, but a few things creeping in here. He's got to,
Rack 11.
you know, when he gets his
Shane
chance,
Van Boening
maybe
break.
step away from the
Leaving 8
table,
racks
get
to
his
2.
little timeout, you know, get a restroom break, something to change the momentum.
Yeah, he's got to try and nip away from the table, try and refocus. But Shane might not let him, so
Yeah, the 2's coming around nice.
yeah, he's going to be.
I think a shot by the 5. Yes, he is. He's in a good spot. Gonna have to take a long shot on the 3 maybe, but
I think you might see him actually hit this ball a little bit of high, go side rail, top rail, and all the way back up, because he's feeling good, he's cueing good.
yeah. How much pocket does he have going by the 5? Plenty, right?
He has a full pocket.
Okay.
Yeah.
You may
might
even see
actually
him jack up and like
draw it.
yeah, like pound it to the rail and let the draw take and arc the cue ball back behind the pink.
Yeah, you
I
might.
like that a little better than
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's drawing this ball.
yeah, straight draw.
Yep. Wow.
Did he scratch?
How well's he got into that?
Yeah. And then you'll see the replay and you'll see the cue ball arc.
He got into that really well.
Yeah, right
Now,
there. Yeah.
actually got into it more than I thought. I thought he was going to go that side of it.
Seems there's no challenge the balls can throw at Shane Van Boening today that he isn't equal to.
Well, if you ever watch him practice, he'll shoot the balls hard in practice, probably more than anyone in the history of pool. So I mean,
Yeah, he just smashes everything in.
Yeah.
Everything's 100 mile an hour.
he was like, finally, I get to hit one how I like, right? So
Yeah.
Talking about changing the momentum a moment ago, someone who has done that is Alexa Pechelge. He's closed now to only 5-3 down against Joshua Filler in their quarterfinal.
and he's got Josh awkwardly cueing at a kick shot. That's a good sign for the youngster.
Josh has not played a good shot by the looks of it. He left the kid straight in.
Yeah. The one thing, if you want to beat Josh or Shane or yourself, any of them, you have to keep the pressure on.
Yep. Especially with just the way the winter break is earlier on in the tournament. Now I feel like when you're playing, there's more pressure on you when you're winning, because you're scared to miss
Yeah.
in case you don't get back to the table. It's a weird feeling.
Well,
They're going to be close to the side.
yeah, very close, maybe too close.
Oh.
My. They got a lot out of it, I'll tell you that. Didn't expect that much, but I commented on it earlier in the week that I think we see more pressure on the top players, with the first 4 days with the template, knowing so many guys can break the balls effectively and certainly run some racks. So you guys, a little more pressure on a mistake, you might
Extension
say.
call.
I actually like the way he's going to try and play this ball here. I think he's going to try and go across, hit it on the top side. Maybe even have a chance of banking it back over here where the 8 is.
Yeah. He's either doing that or coming 3 rails underneath.
And just trying to hit it soft.
No, solid at 3 rails underneath. That way you kick it away, the cue ball will have to stay down, and it's very hard to get underneath it, I think. Ooh, he was going for your shot.
Yeah,
Foul.
trying to hit it on the
Yeah,
top side.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of good things can happen there. If you hit it
Absolutely.
thin enough, it's going
Ball
to
in
come
there.
to the back rail.
Start the clock,
Spiller got back to the table quickly. Not sure how, but
Come with a nice combo there too. So another chance for Skyler here to try and get himself going, Michael.
Yeah, and surely it's the best chance he's had to snap this losing streak, which now runs to 6 racks. So he's clinging on. There's got to be much more of this to follow. Skyler Woodward had lost 6 straight racks, but he's won that one. He's still a long way behind, though, at 8-3. I wonder what Carl Boyes makes of it all. He's with Michael Bridge.
Yes, thank you, Michael. Yeah, we thought this would be Shane running away with it, but now Skyler is back into it.
Yeah, he's just won a free rack there, really, but still all about Shane this match. Anyway, it's good to see you. I thought you'd left me.
Mate, I've missed you.
I know, it's been a while,
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
An all-American tie, looking to win the UK Open.
Yeah,
what a story that would be.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the quarterfinals, we had 6 Europeans left, 2 Americans. Unfortunately, there's only going to be 1 American, so it's going to be them against the rest of Europe.
What a week this has been, though. I mean, this tournament, new tournament, but wow.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, mate, I spoke to you 2 weeks ago and I was thinking, oh, it's going to be a bit carnage. There's 256 players down to 16 in 4 days, but it wasn't carnage. It's been an easy week. Don't tell Emily that, by the way, but it has been a pretty good week. They've got the matches in, you know, down to the final 16 with ease, really.
And the beauty of Paul, it's a bit like golf, really. We've got so many majors. There's no extra major, that better major. This is right into it now.
Yeah, obviously, you know, all the players are here, 256 players. They're desperate to win the very first UK Open, without a doubt.
Absolutely, and the winner goes into the semi-final. We really are at the serious stage now.
Another episode of Bromance of the Year coming to you soon. Back here, can Skyler Woodward build on that?
he's going to get set up maybe with a cut, definitely with a bank.
One of his favourite shots coming up. I actually think this shot here is a 10 and 10 for him. He makes this ball easily all day.
Yeah, he understands the table, how to bank on it, and he certainly won't pass, draw up for position. Oh, he's highballing it, just coming between the 6 and the 3.
Well, we were talking at the start of the match about how he's trying to win one of these big Matchroom events, but as was pointed out, he's been a winner at the Derby City Classic, and he's an extremely consistent performer. Anytime come December, when you look at the top 10 money winners in pool around the world throughout the year, Skyler Woodward's name is pretty much always there. He was a quarter-finalist in the World Championship last year.
And just from nowhere, got a little bit of awkward cueing. You wouldn't think he would need this, and you certainly wouldn't want to get to this point to get that, but sometimes a lopsided scoreline can kind of like loosen you up a little bit. And these are the best in the world. It's not something they want to rely on, but it does happen.
Well, he was a long way behind against Oliver Szolnoki. Okay, the Hungarian was much further from the winning line than Van Boening is now, but he turned that around. We know what he can do in terms of reeling off a succession of racks once he gets the bit between his teeth. And he's getting the job done here. Still a long way to go if he's to win this match, but he's doing all he can for now. It's 2 in a row for Skyler Woodward. The first time he's done that in this contest. He now trails his mate Shane Van Boening 8-4.
If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone. If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
Great to see a happy Saturday night crowd in the Copper Box Arena. Don't know what those guys are doing with the shades. Maybe they're being dazzled by the performance of Shane Van Boening. They've spotted themselves as well.
Thank you, rack 30. Skyler Woodward to break.
Skyler Woodward has staged a mini recovery here. Can he turn it into a full-blown fight back? He trails 8-4.
He's got the cue ball near the rail. It looks like the one's going to get open, but the two all the way back down, so going to have to come with some power. And really, Michael, I mean, most matches after 12 games, not going to be 6-6, not going to be 7-5. 8-4 is not an uncommon score line after 12 games in professional pools, so Skyler's just got to settle himself, bury a big one ball here.
Yeah, and he's had plenty of matches this week where he's put together a lot of racks in succession. Yes, it wasn't against this level of opposition, but if he can stay at the table, it doesn't matter who's in the other chair. Oh, but you can't do that. And he's done it way too often in this match. Has he had a result, though?
Yeah, but still, unless that kick is cut off, he probably isn't going to like this very much. Not just the miss, but with the 4-9-2 there, very doable two-rail kick here on the one to kind of put the clamps down maybe on Skyler.
Yeah, two-rail kick this and send the cue ball back in towards the 9. I don't know if he can hit it enough like that.
I wonder if he's looking at a one rail to do it. That would be premium, just because you're always going to be more accurate coming off of one usually. I think two's okay though.
Might make the 9 if he hits it.
He hit
it on the other side.
Didn't really straighten it up with a bit of spin, maybe a hair of left English. Didn't leave him any cupcake as far as getting position though. He's got to elevate again, right?
Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, he hit that one a real bit hard. Didn't really let the spin do its job.
Alexa Pescelj of Serbia
Extension call.
is hanging on the other table. Joshua Filler looked to have repelled his recovery, getting it to 7-3, but Pescelj has just taken rack 11.
Yeah, this is funny. I mean, got to commit one way or another. Either the safety or you go all out for position. You can't just...
Wonder if he can miss the 5.
I think so.
Get enough spin on it.
I think so. Played it to the thick side of the pocket. I don't know if he got enough to make the 2, though. It's going to be very close or a rail first shot. The problem with the slick table is it won't take the left spin like your club table to try and kick this 2-ball in, and maybe he's got it.
He might be able to go rail first.
Yeah, got to still get in there deep for it to take the spin, though, or you'll overcut it. Rail first maybe catches a piece of the 9 as well. Yeah, that was always the worry. Still had to bear down and make the ball, though.
Try and chip the 3-ball 2 rails, get it back close to the 5, and spin the cue ball in behind the 9.
I have to look again, but yeah, he's
Overcut the 3, try and 2-rail it back in behind the 5.
yeah, that's not bad. Could go behind the 8 as well. There's a couple options. Is this going to lengthen too much? Yeah. Smart with the object ball, just a little off with the cue ball.
You need a little bit more spin there.
Yeah. He should just track this 2 rails below the pink here, right? 3's going to get maybe by the spot off of the 2 cushions. Oh, he cut it in. I don't think he was trying that. I don't think so anyways, but maybe.
Nice little touchy shot here in behind the
9-ball.
Yeah.
And I guess going for the cut actually was okay. I mean,
Very nice shot.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, I mean, he comes up playing 9-ball, but Shane's played a bit of one pocket before, and that's definitely a one pocket play, coming behind the ball like that.
A lot of players would have just kind of tried to baby that one, you know, just bump the 4 off the rail.
So much pressure on Woodward here. If he gives up ball in hand from this position, it's basically 9-4.
Really another side pocket shot there from a tight angle.
Well, it isn't ball in hand, but it's not far from where Van Boening would probably have placed it if he did have the opportunity.
Probably just hits this in lightly, takes a little longer shot on the 5, no problem. Just awesome how fearless Shane is, and I know that was a routine shot, but a lot of players would have been a lot lighter shooting that 5-ball in, right? He just doesn't really worry too much.
No. I think there's only a few players that would have hit it like that.
Yeah.
The rest of them's all staying down, stroking it, make sure.
Give up on this one, though, on the rail.
So Woodward's first run out from the break made it back-to-back racks for him for the first time in the match. He closed to 8-4, but the mini fight back is repelled very swiftly. And Shane Van Boening is now just 2 racks away from making it through to the semi-finals. He leads 9-4.
Actually,
now let's have a look at table 2. Could be a bit more mileage in this one. Alexa Pechelj was really frozen out early on by Joshua Filler, but he's battling back well. 22 years of age, from Serbia. He'll be playing for them in the World Cup next month in Brentwood, just as he did last year in Milton Keynes. He's got a chance here to get back to only 2 behind. Winner of this will play David Al-Kaidi or Mario He in the quarterfinal, in the semi-finals tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if you look at the road that this young man took, he beat a lot of quality players in the first 4 days, and another one in the opening round of the final 16.
Yeah, he raced out into a big lead over Niels Feijen. Dutchman showed all his experience to get back into it. Pechelj finished strongly, got over the line, and he's still battling away there against Joshua Filler, whose lead is now reduced to 7-5.
Shane Van Boening to break, leading 9 racks to 4.
Back here. Is Skyler Woodward going to get back to the table at all?
Big break there again from Shane. Ball was getting kicked close to that corner there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he has on the 2. I've always said I think he's the best ever at shaving the ball, him and Earl.
I think you might see him bank this away from here and hold the cue ball 2 rails, like a little soft stun type of shot.
Soft draw.
Yeah, draw and stun as well. It's kind of just below center.
Did he hold it enough on the 2 ball though? Gonna be close.
I think he left it.
Yeah, that was always touchy, and I think he may have kind of anticipated contact on the 3 with the 2 ball right there.
Possibly.
And it goes right, well, kind of in between them, I guess. Maybe even on the 4.
I think Skyler can chop this in. Oh, good speed.
Pretty unlucky to get dead elevated there.
Had to land in the 50-yard line.
Yeah. Good thing is, cutting into the side, queuing's not too bad.
Natural angle, 3 rails. Big bounce.
Passed up too many opportunities that have been presented to him. Doesn't look like he's going to do the same here. He's still punching. Keep Van Boening away from 10. That's got to be the mantra for now. But he's left himself work.
If he's straight in here, this is... He's got to jack up here and punch this in. Oh, he must be just off straight.
Yeah, that was a harder pop than that angle made it look. So Skyler Woodward battles on. Shane Van Boening's lead reduced slightly to 9 racks to 5. Now, we've been talking so much over the last few days about the World Cup of Pool, a wonderful event which really showcases the global appeal of the game. 32 teams lining up in Brentwood in a few weeks' time, and these are some of the teams we've got. These two will be playing together for the USA. They've been to the final together before. The 2 British teams, Jason, you're there with Elliot Sanderson, and then the B team of Imran Majid, who we saw on the main table earlier today against Chris Melling. Spain, David O'Cady and Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, who are both still here. And the Philippines team there, the US Open champion, Carlo Beato, with Efren Reyes. Many regard him as the greatest we've ever seen. Well, at the age of 67, he's going to be lining up for the Philippines in a few weeks' time. What an attraction that is going to be. June 14th on Sky, that's when it all starts. Germany will be defending the title. Joshua Filler won it last year with Christoph Reintjes. This year he's playing with Torsten Homan. And his opponent at the moment, Alexa Pechelj, will also be there playing for Serbia.
Skyler Woodward.
They're enjoying the action.
Training 9 racks to 5.
Skyler Woodward enjoyed the outcome of that last rack. Still got a long way to turn this around, though. He trails 9-5.
He's got to like the way the table's breaking, though, right? To make this comeback.
Yeah, the table's breaking good. He just needs to try and not give up any more silly mistakes, Jeremy. From now on, it has to be clinical.
Yeah, I think literally one more of that sort of error, and that really could be the end of it.
Yeah, and really it doesn't even have to be an error. It could be just not getting a shot after the break. I mean, he's got one of the best ever that follows him here in this match, so certainly a mistake would probably end it, but he's still not hitting the pocket clean, and it's going to bring it up on the end of the last game when he decided to follow the ball on the 7 instead of drawing out. That tells me maybe a hair unsure right now. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, usually when you're playing well, you would never ever follow that ball like that. You just punch it off the rail and come out to the middle of the table. It seems to be a little bit edgy, you know, but a couple of breaking runs might settle him down a little bit. He just needs to try and settle down and shake off a little bit of nerves still, probably.
And what you do is you just keep fighting, and you're hoping you get the chances to settle that in. And if you don't settle it in, he can still get it done.
Yeah,
he's that great.
Listen, we know Skyler. We've known Skyler for many years now. When he's on, he's tough to beat because he's such a good shot maker, such a good banker. So even when you're playing safe, you're scared in case he's going to bank the ball in.
Yeah.
And somehow, in spite of everything that's happened, he still has a realistic chance of winning this quarter-final. Again, he's left himself more work than he would have desired on the 9. And no surprise that he's taking the extension. Big moment for him, this. So many times it's looked as though he might be getting back into the match. And then he's had a bad miss. Some of them have been easier balls than this. But having been 8-2 down,
Want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone. If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
quarter-final night in the UK Open at the Copper Box in London. Here's what's going on. Shane Van Boening was leading 8-2. It's now only 9-6 against Skyler Woodward. They'll be followed on the main table by Spain's David Alcaide and Mario He of Austria. And over on 2, it'll be Daniel Maciol and Francisco Sanchez Ruiz second on. But the first match of the evening on that table is turning into quite a story. Joshua Filler was rampant early on against Alexa Pechelge. But here's how rack 13 has finished. Joshua Filler potting the 8, and the nod of resignation there. He knew he'd scratched in the corner, and from there was only going to be one outcome. So instead of 8-5,
Thank you, rack
it's
16.
7-6.
Skyler Woodward to break. Trading 9 racks to 6.
Filler clearly with work still to do, and the same does apply now to Shane Van Boening, because in spite of all the balls he's missed, Skyler Woodward is now only 3 behind.
Yeah, big break required here from Skyler. And that's exactly what he got. And Skyler will be loving this. 3 balls in the break, straight in the 2 ball.
This is basically what Van Boening was doing with his break with such regularity earlier in the match. multiple balls down, giving himself a chance. And he's starting to look like he fancies the job, Jason.
Yeah, he looked like he's got a little bit quicker. It looked like he's picked up his speed a little bit. He would have liked to have been a little bit more off angle here just to be able to follow to the top rail. I think he still can. Must leave a nice angle so he can come back down. There's a nice break there from Skyler, Jeremy. 3 balls straight in the 2, and looks like he's picked up his pace a little bit.
Yeah, maybe the commercial timeout a little bit. Had a talk with himself. Even though he's a little on the rail, he's got an angle. Should be able to get fairly close to the 8.
Yeah, he's developed an unfortunate habit of losing the cue ball just a little in these last few racks, but he keeps digging himself out of it, reflecting his growing belief. Showing a lot of mental toughness here. He's missed so many unexpected and disappointing balls in the match. He managed to keep that belief. And now he's got to believe that in a moment he's only going to be 2 behind.
It's incredible to think he's only going to be 2 behind, considering what's going on in the, the middle of the match. But that's 9 ball.
Couple of breaking runs in a row. Skyler Woodward very much in this now at 9-7.
Yeah, and you could say the same thing about our other match going on with Filler and Purcell, right? And all I see over there is him grinding on Filler, just trying not to give up anything easy.
He's got Filler here with a good safety, I think. Filler's going to have to... I think he's been fortunate there, Joshua.
Yeah, definitely a little bit trying to get up behind the 3.
So he's going to try and kick this ball softly and put it down behind the 8 and the 9. I can't see him hitting this ball hard. Or even go across behind the 7 with a cue ball.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking maybe. Hey, this is okay here though, I think. Kid's showing a little class.
Yeah. That was a nice shot.
Yeah, and I actually watched him do that several times against Skowerski, was it, earlier? Now, Skyler's got to realize with that many misses, usually it's over against Shane. Shane got corner hooked on a shot. Nothing after the break a moment ago that really got Skyler started.
Yeah, just to answer your question, it was Karol Skowerski who Pechelch beat earlier in a hill-hill finish. The only one we've seen so far today on this Saturday, which brings us the last 16 and the quarterfinals. Be the semis in the early session tomorrow, and then the final, which will be a race to 13 on Sunday evening.
Skyler Woodward to break. Trailing 9 racks to 7.
Yeah, without watching this match, and of course now seeing Skyler play better as the match goes, but the way the table's breaking now, the corner ball going in, you can't really consider him much of a dog. Even though he trails by 2 games, he has the break. And this 2's going to get on the end cushion, so we're probably going to see SVB get out of his chair sometime during this rack. It should be sometime soon. Can't go for this bank, I don't think. Can't get shape.
He's actually took a little bit off his break. He's not parking the cue ball like he was the first couple. Can he bank the 2 up the table here, Jeremy, towards the 8?
I think so. It's touchy, though. I mean, it's always touchy when you're not going to a good place with the cue ball. You're kind of leaving it open, just a soft safety, we'll call it. Not one to get really ball in hand. Might be a push out here, actually.
Where do you push to, though?
I know.
That's the thing. If you push over here towards the 8, you're going to leave him an easy safety behind the 7.
Yeah.
So I like this shot. Just soft spin. Very touchy shot, though.
Yeah, I think he was trying to run into the 7 and just get maybe, you know, the 2 down table. I'm not really sure.
It actually worked out not too bad. Tied the 7 up.
Saw the stat going through there. Woodward has now potted more balls than Van Boening in this match. He's also missed more, but what it all adds up to is that he's still in with a shout.
Well, that's only because Shane has made half of them on the break. That's the only reason he's potted more balls.
Yeah, well, he had a golden break, didn't he?
And a golden break and a combination.
The
kiss shot.
in the opening rack.
Yeah, and I think we're tied at 7s on the other table.
We are indeed. Alexa Pechelge
You
shown he's no respecter of reputations in this championship, and he's underlining it again.
I think Jeremy might have missed a scratch on the 8 from Filler. Filler was 7.
4.
Was it 7-5, Michael? I believe it was.
Yeah, we had another look at that. Potted the 8, scratched in the corner.
Oh, wow.
Ball in hand. Pechelge couldn't miss from there.
This time.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that Pechelge, at a young age, made it to a pretty big semifinal in the Kremlin Cup. 2019, I believe it was. The year that Tyler Steyer snapped it off against David Alcade in the final.
Yeah, it was just around the time he was coming out of his teens, still only 22. Joshua Filler, despite being so young himself, the older player by a couple of years in that one.
Would like to get a little angle here. That's no good. Maybe he can pinch it a little bit in the side. He wants to leave an angle high on the 5 to draw across and break the 7 and the 9.
He can't roll it in the corner and still hold that slide angle. I mean,
yeah, I think he can, but it'd be nice just to punch it in the side and get out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's much more simple. Well, that's not much angle. I would have rather had a hair more, I think. That's not bad, actually. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think a little hair more you might have drawn underneath it.
Yeah, maybe.
Now he can get into it.
Yeah.
And probably try and flick the top side.
Yeah, so often in big moments you go into this and you get a double kiss and the 7 and 9 just stand still.
Just like you said, he was looking to flick the 7 there first. That would have been ideal. But not the worst shot to be left with. He's got a bank. He can come around 3 rails, maybe 4.
Yeah, he's got to go cross side here.
Yeah, you have to. Got to be careful here with the cue ball. Doesn't overhit it.
Yeah, because that
chance of
corner.
scratching you.
Yeah.
Extension called.
It was funny when Dennis was jumping at that 3. I thought if he made that 3, that scratch he had was a possibility.
He hit it so pure though.
I know. Almost like he wasn't jumping it.
Uh-oh.
He's fine. He's fine.
Oh.
Well, he raises his hand in acknowledgement. He knows he's had a bit of good fortune there. These are massive moments in the match. It looks as though Shane Van Boening has figured out the puzzle of this rack. He's taken these so well.
Shane Van Boening wins the rack.
And Skyler Woodward is going to have to stage another revival, and this time it's going to have to be a decisive one because Shane Van Boening has at last made it to the hill. He leads 10-7. Let's go down to the practice area. Michael Bridge.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. So 2 quarterfinals going on at the moment, 2 more to come. So practice is going at the moment. If you see Mario He against the Spaniard, but not his opponent, David Alcade, is actually Alcade's best friend, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. How is Alcade going to feel about this? But maybe he'll be getting some tips, who knows. But huge match for both of these players and for Alcade. This is a huge tournament, a new tournament, but a major in the Matchroom 9-ball series. For Mario He, he's not had a great few weeks. He was at the World Pool Masters in Gibraltar, but lost in the first round. These players know this is huge for them, for the Matchroom 9-ball rankings ahead of the rest of the year. You can see it's all going on with the 2 games going on at the moment, but these 8 players left in this tournament know how big this tournament is. They're not sitting down, they're not watching the matches, they're practicing because they know how big this tournament is.
Can Skyler Woodward summon up one last effort? Will he even get the chance to do it? Shane Van Boening breaking on the hill at 10-7. Woodward somehow got to win 4 in a row.
Yeah, beautiful break.
That is all she wrote, I'm afraid.
And again, 4 down. How many times has he done that this week?
I think over this match he might have potted around about, from maybe 4 or 5 breaks, around about
10
20
breaks,
balls.
yeah, 20 plus, I would say. At 30 if the 9's worth 2. 30 plus, but have you ever seen a player from, I mean, when your hand's out on the table, that's one thing, you know, you're square toward the rack. But queuing off the side rail break has always been awkward. Have you ever seen anybody go at it like he does and consistently hit the one so square?
There's only one guy, and sadly he's not here, he passed away recently. It was Larry Neville.
Oh, yeah.
He used to do the same thing. He used to put everything into that.
Even from the side rail?
From the side rail, and you know, he was like one of the best breakers.
Oh, yeah.
And he would unload the same way as Shane does. That's the only guy that I know. Jeffrey DeLuna's a little bit the same, but not as much as those two.
Yeah. I think most don't even try it that often because it's that hard to do.
Well, credit to Skyler Woodward. He was 8-2 down. He was struggling so badly, but he made a contest of it when it didn't look as though we were going to get one. He responded by winning 5 of the next 6 racks, closed it to 9-7. We always suspected once Shane Van Boening got a chance to re-establish control of the match, he would take it, and he did so well in that last rack. It wasn't straightforward by any means, but he got the job done, got it to the hill at 10-7, and these look like the last moments. We will see Skyler Woodward again in a few weeks' time, partnering Shane Van Boening at the World Cup of Pool in Brentwood. We saw them as partners in a couple of matches. The Mosconi Cup just before Christmas.
A little fortunate there. He was trying to just get to that rail, I think, just a hair, and maybe overhit it, of course, but Skyler will tell you after this 7 gets buried, I'm be surprised if he has to shoot the 9, really, but Skyler will tell you just those early mistakes, you just can't afford it.
Yep, a simple case of having missed too many balls, passed up too many chances, and ultimately proving to have left himself too much to do.
Make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.